All right. What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
Are you going to play for us today?
I am. I'm going to sing you.
You going to bring
song.
us in? Let's do it.
I am. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Roll.
Tron, you're turning 40. Tron, on the other side of the screen, it all seems so easy. Wow. I am a fucking master of this shit. Can you tell? Can you tell I'm amazing?
I can tell, man. I was worried. I think our show booker couldn't get our regular intro band, and
I know.
You stepped in a pinch. So I salute you, sir.
Thank you. I am a genius. Tron. Okay, that's enough of that. It's not even my
Man, that's some good stuff. All right. Well, one of these days we're going to get around to recording, going into the studio, getting an official Weeks End jingle. But until then, we're just going to keep experimenting.
All right, that sounds good. Man. Well, welcome to Weeks End show number 85. I'm sure we have lots of guests joining us from places around the world, like Madagascar and the Maldives and Michigan.
Correct.
So really just incredible places around the world. Not sure why they all begin with M, but I think that's just where my heart is. So, really excited to be here, Ryan. We have a shitload to cover today, brother.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't believe it.
We got to get going. And we also have to do a recap and explain why we were both away last week and this week and everything. So, what are you drinking today, though? First of all, Blue Moon.
My favorite. Blue Moon.
Well, you know what?
You taste like Belgium in a can, or whatever. I don't know.
We visited. So I'll launch into my trip recap first. Was in Colorado last week, and we happened to go to the Blue Moon Brewery, the Blue Moon.
Wow.
In Colorado, up in the mountains. So it's pretty cool stuff.
That's cool, but I've heard it's one of those things that you can only do once.
Yeah.
In a blue moon. I'm sorry.
You're absolutely right. It wasn't my first pick, but it was cool. It's neat to see the natural habitat of the beers as they come out of the spout. And,
it reminds me of when I went to the Heineken brewery in fact, I think I still have it. I do. Check it out. This is it's a little dusty. I'm a bit of a collector. I was talking to somebody earlier about that. I got this Heineken beer cup and this Amsterdam coin at the brewery in Amsterdam, and it was cool because we had Heineken like literally off the line, and then they had this other version that they super cooled. It was like drinking ice. It was amazing, and the difference was stunning.
Oh yeah. That's what my friend Max was saying. He felt like it was the best Blue Moon he had ever tasted. He swears up and down you can't get anything like it, and I think there's something to that. There's something to
freshness, man.
It's fresh. Well, not only is it fresh, but you're not like drinking the preservatives and everything as it's been sitting around on the shelf. But we went to a few breweries. We were out in Colorado from July 4th, the holiday day, of course, and we just we did some exploring. So I want to show you really quick. Check this out.
Did you celebrate America and how they're taking people's rights away? Oh, this looks nice. Tell me about it.
We decided to go get lost in the mountains and kind of get away from all that noise, turn off our phones, except for picture taking, of course. This is called the Garden of the Gods. Here's something I want to.
Where's Thor or Odin?
I want to posit to you. If this rock is between 100 or 200 and 260 million years old, makes you draw some conclusions as to sort of.
Well, it makes me draw the conclusion that you can't read because that wasn't even the right dates, but that's fine.
What?
That's adorable. Yeah, 260 to 300.
Oh, 300. You're right. I couldn't quite make out the 3 reading it here, but there were all these markers depending on which peak, and there's different types of rock. But this is,
that's beautiful.
This is tectonic plate action in real life, and this is amazing to go hike around and see all this. We did this little kiss under the. You see, at the very peak of this, it's got. It looks like there's a hole there at the top. It's called the Kissing Camel, so we decided we would get corny with it.
Okay.
But we had a good time.
I can endorse that.
I also.
Wait a minute. You got to go back.
Okay, I'm going back. What are we going back to?
Go back. What's that one with the sun there?
Oh,
that looks like the opening to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
You know, that's what I was going for here. I was walking by, and the only shade I could find was when we just this one point, and it just kind of caught like me in the peripheral, and I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, that's cool. That's a cool picture."
Hold on, are you ready? I'm going to recreate that. I'm going to recreate that photo for you right now. Are you ready?
Do it.
Okay, I'm going to recreate that photo.
Nice. That's expert level.
That's
man.
an expert recreation right
that's
there.
Really good. I really like it.
I'm good.
The other thing I did though was we went to the botanical garden, and I discovered that you can buy your very own Hobbit house, and I decided maybe that's what we're looking for. We could just move wherever we want and plop down a Hobbit house.
See, that would be the kind of thing where you take it to like a little beach on an oxbow on like the Saco River in Maine, where nobody can get to you. Maybe there's like a little field of wildflowers and trees behind you, the hawks circling, the hummingbirds coming in.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it could be a good spot.
I think we could do it. I think we could do it. I like that. So that was cool. We walked.
I like your Hawkins High t-shirt, by the way. Oh my God,
we walked around Boulder.
Mm-hmm.
I know. It's
no, dude, you know I love it. You know I love it.
Walked around Boulder, but look at this. I know you'd love this. We found in the back room of an old-timey candy store. You know how they have these candy stores that has every candy imaginable?
Yeah.
Well, we found this little hidden passageway in the back was Rocket Fizz Under the Sea Arcade. And look at the machine right there. Let me zoom in on it.
Oh, poor
Centipede. They had a
poor
Mandalorian machine in between all these machines that look like they were like 50 years old. So it's pretty cool.
I think it's so cool that they still make themed pinball. That's really cool. What's the Mars one? Do you have a picture of the Mars one?
I don't. Not in the wide shot, but I wanted to show you this one. I challenged my friend there to a game of Galaga. And I had never seen this version of the machine. It's like they had a normal, what you consider a normal size one. The controllers and the buttons were like an older version than I'd ever seen before. And it seemed like the machine was fragile and about to fall apart, but we got to play what I think might be an OG Galaga machine.
Hey, Dave Ellis, I could actually consult his book on video games, which is right behind me. But Dave, if you're watching, tell us if you can ID that machine. You can find a picture of it on RAB.
That would be really cool. But there was cool street art and stuff. But I want to show you this. This is the reaction to my wife when she walked in at the base of Red Rocks, and you're looking up. And there was just this moment of like she was so giddy, so
dude. Look at the guy behind her having this. Look at there's like 4 people in that image that are all having.
We're all
that
walking.
Reaction.
So we're walking in, and she's just like losing it. It was a really cool moment there.
That is really cool. It reminds me of watching U2 live at Red Rocks from the early '80s when I was a kid, and I was just like, man, I got to go there. And by the way, folks, if you're a U2 fan and you have not seen,
yes, go to
U2 live at Red Rocks.
Stop watching us. Go to YouTube and watch.
Go.
But Red Rocks at night, I'm just going to tell you, magical.
Okay, so it's just Ryan night. We're just show magical. 85 is just Orion's trip spectacular.
This is magical. But I'm just going real fast. It's just some pictures, man. But just check.
I'm kidding. It's awesome.
This is just
look at that, dude. Go back. That last photo was awesome.
I closed the tab. I'm sorry. We're going fast.
No, don't worry about it.
All right. So I wanted to show you this. There's a bunch of dumb like Avett Brothers memes out there. We were there for 3 nights of Avett at 3 different shows. And my wife and her friend recreated one of the memes. And you probably only get this if you're an Avett fan, but it was, silly, good time, fun. And fun was had by all.
That's really cool, man. Wow.
That's it. I want to hear about Adventuremen, my friend, because you and I think your sons and their friends like went out and ripped it up out in the wild this week.
Yeah, it was me and my son Connor. We went up to Gorham, New Hampshire, Black Cherry Garage Advanced Team, going and checking out Jericho State Park, Yamaha Connector, A1 Corridor, and the trails that eventually lead up to Canada. So we went up there. We had a blast. We did about 200 miles of riding in 2.5 days. I am surprisingly not tired, which is weird, but
You're just like reinvigorated. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, but here what you're seeing is I'm on my fucking awesome Can-Am Outlander 450 barreling through the water at pretty good speed. And you can actually see that I have my reserve gas tank strapped on down.
That's what I was going to ask about there. Yeah.
And I assure you, we use that every day because we were in the middle of nowhere. Now I can hold my quad holds a lot of gas, but my son's quad is a sport quad, holds half as much. So believe me, we needed it. This old man was like, everywhere you take that, there's a gas station in the woods. And I was like, oh, how long you been working on that one, Grandpa?
Nice.
But anyway, this was a pretty cool moment. It was a really great place. We had a lot of fun.
It looks like a lot of fun. I just got a couple more that I want to show. Dude, this is like, I think this was like a pivotal moment in your life when you first got to ride in this. What is this? The Discovery?
It's actually Atlantis, which was nice. Okay. I didn't know they had Atlantis on display in Berlin, New Hampshire. So you could see our quads parked in the background there. We had driven past this on our way to the connector a couple of times. And finally, I was just like, dude, we have helmet communications. You can actually see my radio receiver on the side of my Fox helmet there. And I just like radioed to Connor. I was like, I was like,
hey, we gotta stop. I'm gonna go ahead and need a picture on this space shuttle.
You need a special code for photo apps. You need like a code word, like
we do
something.
We do.
But I just want to know.
Photo one.
Did Chris? What did Chris Evans have to say about this? That's
well, he called me that night, and I was like, "Chris, buddy, Captain America." He's like, "No, Graham, you're the real Captain America." And I was like, "I know, buddy." And we talked for a while. He got a kick out of it. He actually helped me think of using To Infinity and Beyond. I was going to put, ladies and gentlemen, we are floating in space from Specialized, but Chris Evans and I are good friends, so he told me, Graham, I give you permission to use this. You don't need to talk to Tim Allen because he's a piece of shit. You don't need to worry about Disney. You can just use it from Lightyear to Infinity.
Yeah, what is up with their argument over the Lightyear movie? Like, get a life, Tim Allen.
Dude. I don't care. I don't care.
But here's the last one. This is the moment of Zen.
Okay, so these were so cool. So if you can get that to replay, that would be great. So at this park, we're talking hundreds of miles of trails, right? And every once in a while, you'd come across this place that we either called them side missions or playgrounds. Side missions were like little weird trails that you would follow. And playgrounds were places that just had like ups and downs. And there was 3 of these giant donuts. And in these donuts, like I cut the first part of this video because I almost tipped my ATV over. It's a steeper angle than it looks. It doesn't really look that steep, but you have to it's tricky to get into it. Once you get into it, it's like a velodrome, right? You got to go really fast. And what's really cool is we captured, obviously I'm going to be making a music video. We captured some footage of the 2 of us in the donut together. So stay tuned for that footage. We'll have a Black Cherry Garage video coming out soon.
That's awesome, man. I love it.
It was a ton of fun, man.
It was.
Mission accomplished.
Well, look, I was really busy last week. You were really busy this week, but somehow, some way, we managed to fit in some TV watching and some movie watching. And I wanted to kick off our discussion today about Thor because you got to go see this in theaters. I didn't have time for it yet, but I wanted to hear your initial take.
Okay, so I'm not gonna say anything about the film because first of all, I don't know who's seen it, who hasn't, and I don't want to give any spoilers. Certainly, you haven't, and I would hate to ruin the movie for you. But I am a Thor fan.
I know you are.
I'm a Norse mythology fan. I'm a Scandinavian at heart. I'm a big fan of the Scandi Center here in Massachusetts. But anyway, the point is that I really like this movie. The thing is like it's silly, and it's not, I don't know if silly is the right word, but like it's kind of like they took Ragnarok and like went even further with the silliness, and it's fun. So if you're expecting Iron Man or Civil War or Black Panther or Endgame or whatever, like you're not going to get that. It's kind of like the last Doctor Strange movie into the Multiverse of Madness. Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse Madness. Something
that was like pure unrefined Sam Raimi. Well, this is like pure unrefined Taika
Waititi.
Yeah. And I really loved it. I thought the goats were, I'd say their names, but you won't know who they are. But I really enjoyed the screaming goats are really funny, and the movie is a lot of fun. I had some issues with it, which I won't go into. We'll discuss it later, but they were more like things I would like to have seen. It wasn't problems I had with the film. And so I give it 4 out of 5 Stormbreakers. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
5. That is high praise.
And I can see why people are like, I don't like it. This movie sucked. Like I get it.
But you know what? There were some haters. I mean, amazingly, there were some haters with Ragnarok, and because they were expecting,
which is an awesome movie,
and it is one of those movies that it connects things and also stands on its own. And so I think that's the true measure of a good Marvel film at this point, is does it connect things and also stand on its own. And I think
I agree.
The Thor movies do this better than anybody, I think, at this point.
So I liked it. The best part of the movie, arguably, is when you find out where the title comes from. And I'm not going to ruin that for you, but it's absolutely fantastic. And we'll talk a little bit about that. It's not what you think.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that after you've seen it. But great movie. If you're looking for something fun to watch, get out there and go and watch it.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Next up, we're going to talk about what I watched this week, which was
holy cow,
Stranger Things 4 Volume 2 finale, which is a mouthful, and it was quite a lot to digest in the last two episodes of the 4th season. And I know you watched it as well. And man, there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack there. But overall, I was very satisfied, I guess is the right word.
Very.
It's a very the way the show has evolved. It's very rich and layered, but it also was very much. We've talked about it before on the show. This season was very much like a horror film in so many different ways, in layered in so many different ways, but still had the heart of the Goonies type of feature that we've all come to know and love. And the way they brought that together with the horror aspect, and then the revelations about the origins of this whole freaking, mythology and the characters on the show, is just there's a lot going on. What do you think?
I wholeheartedly concur with every word that just came out of your bearded mouth there. I feel exactly the same way. It was like Goonies meets horror. It was fun. It was scary. It was heartbreaking. There are some very interesting themes at play there. I mean, clearly Will is struggling with his sexuality. And I think we need more of those messages, not just in like a fucking Sky Rizzy commercial, but like in the movies. Right. So, I think that it was really well done. There were a couple of scenes in particular, like when Matthew Modine's character is laying on the ground. I don't want to say too much, and in the desert, and Eleven is with him. The cinematography was extremely, like, they thought through their shots, man. The Duffer Brothers aren't just good writers and good, creators. They're also, they've got the vision to how to, because like if you don't have good cinematography, something like that's just going to seem cheesy. And it wasn't. It was well done, but there also was enough cheese in it. And I was surprised, speaking of cheese, to find out Surfer Boy pizza is like a real thing.
That is one of the dude. Have you had it? Have you tried it?
No, I thought it was just something they made up.
I'm gonna have to I want to have a separate segment on a future show because we've got so much packed into this show. But yes, it is a real thing. Yes, it's glorious. You can get it. I got this one at Walmart. It's a multi-meat pizza, and the cool thing, check this out. On the back of the box, it's got these punch-out cardboard sunglasses that I didn't know what that was for, but it ends up being a direct kind of Easter egg tie to one of the final scenes, the final battle between Eleven
see it to believe it, my dudes,
and Vecna, when they're duking it out in the mind sphere, or whatever you want to call it. So it's really cool.
That is a super awkward picture, by the way.
It is. And on the other, they have another,
or is it different characters on different boxes?
It's different characters, because I had the Supreme a couple of nights ago, and it has the Demogorgon on it, so it's pretty cool.
Okay, that is cool. Then I take it back. That's cool. But yeah, man, Stranger Things Volume 4. Season 2, or the Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2 finale. Get out there and see it. Tweet at us. Let us know what you think.
Now, one more thing here. I don't know if you know this, but Stranger Things, you mentioned the Duffer Brothers, which I have a lot of respect for as well. Stranger Things actually has a tie to the Triangle. So I just was learning about this week. But the Duffer Brothers, we know they're from Durham. They're identical twins. And apparently there's a lot of talk, and this is a local, the Indie Week
down? What the hell is that?
This is a secret base in Pittsboro, North Carolina, in Chatham County in Pittsboro, North Carolina, called the Big Hole Facility. And people have been putting together research about this place since the 90s, trying to figure out what the heck they're doing there. But apparently they've put together enough pieces as to what it is. And you can read all about it. I'll send the links. But they think that this was one of the inspirations that the Duffer brothers brought in for the, you know, the evil corporation and the base, because they've put together enough records that they know that this base was built in the 60s and it goes down at least 13 levels below ground level.
Wow, 13.
And nobody knows what's going on
12?
there. It's well, 13 is a guess, because they've interviewed the contractors, they've interviewed people that work there, and most people to this day, including the mayor of Pittsburgh, who was a former AT&T employee, who was the manager of this site, they are bound and gagged and will not talk about it to this day.
Wow,
so
that's
something's
amazing.
going
How do
on.
they eat if they're bound and gagged? That's incredible. That's actually really amazing. I would like to learn more about that. So drop me the link to that at some point, buddy, because I want to read about that.
We will. All right. So did you see, I don't know if you saw this, but another movie came out. I did not see it, but apparently my son, I don't know. I wanted to get some fatherly advice from both you and some of our watchers, some of our loyal fans, but apparently my son has turned into a gentle minion.
Yes, I've heard all about this.
So now he's walking around slowly wearing a black suit with his doing the Gru whatever hand thing and talking on a banana at weird times of the night, and then like apparently like, you know, rushing into theaters and whatnot. But I just want to understand, like, what do we do to solve this gentleman problem that we have in America?
Yes. Well, I got 2 words for, well, actually, no, I have 4 words for you that I guarantee you will solve this problem under any circumstances. Would you like to know what the 4 words are?
Go right ahead. Yes.
United States Marine Corps.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, you might be right. Or I think it's one news cycle and done. But anyhow, a lot of good. I think.
Hold on, I'll call up the Marine Corps and get a little help.
A lot of good fun was had going to see a movie.
Yes.
I was just confused at the theaters that were trying to ban kids from wearing suits. That seems weird to me, because
that happened here.
I can't even get my kids to put on like 2 matching clean socks most of the time. So
yeah, no, there was a lot of shenanigans around that film. But you know what? I endorse the shenanigans, and like it's cool.
Do too.
I'm a shenanigan fan.
You know what?
For my money, it doesn't get better than shenanigans.
You're right. Okay, we have a Lego showcase this week, folks. I'm putting together. I don't know if you've seen this like mech series, where like characters are like in a robot body. But dude, check it out. There's an original uniform Wolverine, which is one of the few like Marvel sets for the Lego that I've seen that's actually cool. So I just wanted to show that off. I'll show off the mech once it's complete.
So if I was going to do this character, I would have done it differently.
Tell me about it.
I'm going to be a real picky bitch here. You ready for this?
Do it.
He is holding his claws. That is not okay. I would have had them clip on here, so it looked like they were coming out of the hand. So I appreciate that the top of it goes back. I'll give them credit for that.
Okay.
But I would have done this differently.
But then, so this $10 or $15 set would have costed, $49.50 if you have that many custom pieces. So, I don't know. It's all a balancing act. This is something, dude. I don't know if you saw this, but this is an LED brick that looks to be from one of those old school like space sets like you and I had when we were like 10 years old. But this guy has programmed it and put an LED screen into the Lego brick and then made the pegs touch sensitive.
That's like, amazing.
I don't know. This might be the coolest thing I've seen on the internet this week. And he's showing off
the coolest thing I've seen on the internet this week.
He's got a lot of different ones on his website, but this one, the reason I picked this one is it's showing ships from the Elite video game, which we talk so much about, in low poly wireframe. Just like the original.
Incredibly cool.
That is like nerd alert of the week, folks. You're not going to beat it.
Wow.
All right. Graeme is speechless, so we're going to move on to our next topic. The next topic I think will also leave you speechless. Dude, talk to me about telescopes.
I will talk to you about telescopes. So the James Webb Space Telescope, as you and I remember, because we watched the launch and we were all giddy about it. Then we learned about how it was unfolding in space, and it was this big, crazy choreography. But we started getting pictures back for the first time this week, and the pictures are wow. They are amazing.
They are completely wow.
We are seeing the universe, and it only simply goes to solidify my belief that there is zero chance that the only life out there is on Earth. And it further solidifies my belief that if any of those life forms came to Earth, they'd be like, wow, you guys are fucked up. We're leaving. And, but the space telescope really is capturing some beautiful, beautiful photographs that are, it's just like,
it doesn't even seem real. And so
it doesn't seem real.
I mean, a lot of folks, like I had a lot of comments from the images I've been posting because I've just been gaga over it all week. And somebody asked, like, how does it even look like this? Because it looks better than a movie or like special effects. And to understand, they're doing a scan in infrared, and then there's a process by which they translate that into what you see here, which this one was cool because it's like zooming in to a 136 megabyte image on one of the stars in that nebula picture I was just showing, which is just, it's breathtaking.
You know, dude, it really is incredible stuff. And, you know, the thing is you have to understand that the original machine has a base plate of prefabulated amulite, which is surrounded by a malleable logarithmic casing in such a way that the two spurving bearings are in direct line with the panometric fan. Now, of course, this gives the James Webb the ability to have 6 hydrocoptic Marsal vanes so fitted to the ambificient lunar wane shaft that side fembling, like we had on the Hubble Space Telescope, it's effectively prevented. So the main winding is of the normal Lotus O-deltoid type, placed in a panendemic semi-boloid slot in the stator, with every 7th conductor being connected to a non-reversible Tremi pipe, and the differential girdle spring on the up end of the grand meters. I mean, the thing is it's just an incredible device.
I don't know, man. On the napkin design, I thought it had 6 confabulators, not 7. But
no, they changed it later to have 7.
All right, all right. Yeah, well, and that's how I think they achieved. So this one was cool because this article talks about
space worms. There's so many space worms.
There's lots of worms, but what that actually is, Graham, is the reason they've nicknamed it internally to NASA. They've nicknamed it the time machine because it's showing distortions in time. Distortions of time.
Distortions of time.
Dude, I don't know if you know this, but like I think Star Trek could be a real thing, man. We could like
Ryan, can we start a band called Distortions of Time?
Yes. I think it's appropriate.
Distortions of time. Distortions of time.
Okay, I'm gonna play drums. I'm gonna play drums with Wolverine's little his ultra sharp adamantium.
Okay, I endorse that.
Okay,
I like it.
That's really cool. But I just want to scroll through. We're just gonna scroll through images.
Next?
We're just going to scroll through images really quick. So I love that somebody brought back this
Calvin
cartoon from Calvin, of course,
because
this is very
pissing on a Chevy logo.
Very apropos for this. Now we have, well, this is the first picture we just showed.
You did that. That's the space worms.
I want to show this one because this is like straight out of the opening scene of like Battlestar Galactica. Where
no, dude, that's the Bifrost. That's the Rainbow Bridge. That's if you look in the background. I mean, clearly. I mean, don't you see the Bifrost? I do. And you can see Heimdall's back there somewhere putting a sword in and turning it and activating the Bifrost. And anyway, the Rainbow Bridge.
It's the Rainbow Bridge. I love it. I love it. But then we've got, what do we got next? Okay, here was a story that I thought was cool. So I've decided I'm going to have a story every week.
It's kind of a dick, though. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, yes, anyway. But I just want to say that every story has got to have a North Carolina tie. So we figured out that James Webb,
God forbid we talk about Massachusetts,
who was born in Granville County in the township of Tally Ho, which I didn't even know about, but it's near Oxford, North Carolina. And he went to UNC Chapel Hill. But you're right, he was kind of a dick. So we're going to move on. So. Dude, what is this? Tell me what we're looking at here. I don't know. This is like the.
I don't know. I think it's like a space.
It's the Southern Ring Nebula, but I love when they've shown a lot of pictures comparing the Webb to what the Webb telescope will show us versus the Hubble. Did you see the personal letter that the Hubble telescope put out last night, where it was like apologizing for? Like,
but I love Hubble.
The Hubble,
Hubble's like me. It wears glasses.
Yes. So the Hubble telescope said that it was very glad that it got to contribute to science, but it'll be bowing out gracefully and kind of working as hard as it can for as long.
I love you, Hubble. Story Musgrave worked on you. Story Musgrave, you're a hero. Story, I bet you're watching. I love you. Story.
I like this meme because this is again everybody comparing Hubble to the Webb, but. I don't know. That one's kind of obvious. I really like this one.
Yes, I like this one too. I tell you, I was very pleased to see that Frank Poole is still out there, still struggling in the spacesuit. Which,
well,
by
now
the way,
I think now we have an opportunity, 21 years later, to actually find him. I think that's exciting.
Yeah, we can get out there. Well, actually, it was.
I really like the fact that we could still see.
Oh, the Phantom Zone.
15 years later, we could see like Zod and his cronies like tumbling out into space.
Yes,
really cool.
Excellent.
I like it.
Excellent. All right.
I like it. So we're done with that. So let's talk about two more things.
Thank God that went on for a long time. What do you got here? What is this? What am I looking at?
Okay, we've got we talked about this AI engine that you played with quite a bit extensively. Somebody put together an 82-page book that has 300 examples of basically of prompts that are really cool to try to teach people how to use it better and how to produce interesting illustrations. So I thought it was really cool. Talks about how to combine movements, paper, textile, different styles, monochrome, film types, all kinds of like really nerdy design stuff, which I nerd out about design stuff. So I thought it was really neat.
I think that's really cool.
But I just thought it was really cool to check out.
I think you're really cool.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Okay, we're getting to our section, folks, where we talk about Graham's idea, script, pitch, story time.
Yes. It's the miniseries Genius Superpower Hour. So here's my idea. I recently rewatched Blade Runner, director's cut, not with the narration, and Blade Runner 2049, which is arguably almost better than the original, right? It's so great. And so I had this idea that a really cool sequel would be in which Wallace creates a limited line of replicants that are infused with a wide range of artificial mutant powers, including super strength, the ability to, have shoot blasts out of their arms, all kinds of
wrong?
X-Men powers. And that these new meta reps revolt and try to create more like them. So he created a very limited line of them, but they decided to try to create more before they have to get the military and the LAPD, of course, used to retire all of the meta reps. Now, the title is interlinked. Where did the title come from, Graham? Oh, Ryan, I'm so glad you asked. The title comes from in Blade Runner 2049, when Kay is doing his baseline, the guy keeps saying interlinked. Right. Well, it's a play on words, because my thought was all of the meta reps have a hive mind and they can all communicate. They are all interlinked. Thank you.
They sound unstoppable though, Graham. Like this is, I like that you're combining so many awesome sci-fi ideas, but
here's the trick, baby. Wallace didn't tell them they don't just have an incept date, they have a self-destruct mechanism, thing he's never put in the replicants, so he can just go click and poof, they all explode. So I don't know.
Wait a minute. Is Harrison Ford in this movie?
Yes, but he's joining the film as Indiana Jones, so it's very confusing. It's a bit of a crossover. No, that's a terrible idea. Yes, he's in the movie.
I think that's a good idea. That means that he is a meta rep himself.
Oh my God, I didn't think of that.
Whoa, I like it. Whoa. And his skill is that he's really good with whips and running with keeping his fedora on.
Did you say something about a whip?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a whip.
I'm pretty sure.
Here we go. Ready?
Jones.
Ow! It hit me.
Like
anyway,
you need to practice that. Indiana Jones is like level 57 whip power.
He is on the whip power scale. It's actually one word: whip power.
Final story of the day, folks, and we are at our close. But I just wanted to give a shout out because the Bird app, which we apparently use for our daily life and everything, and this show is anniversary is today because it was launched back in 2008. So thank you, Twitter. Thank you for all you've given us. So the question of the day is, when did you first get on Twitter and what type of phone with it? Because I don't know if you remember this, but originally it was conceived as a SMS service that would help bike messengers stay in touch with each other. And it sort of evolved into this, 140 character phenomenon that we know today, and that has evolved into a multimedia social media platform. So I just want to know.
What's it called? Twitter?
Twitter.
I've never heard of it.
It's TYTTR. You haven't heard of that?
Twitter.
Twitter.
Oh, Twitter.
Yes,
I've been using Twitter for a long time.
Right.
No, I got on
It's pretty
Twitter. So my understanding is the bike messenger origin is one thing, but it was also created for people to communicate during South by Southwest.
Correct.
And I think it was unveiled at South by Southwest. Anyway,
yes. Well, that's when it made the big
using
pitch.
it because a guy I used to work with named Charlie Schick told me all about it. I like to say his name like that. It's a great name, Charlie Schick.
I love it. I thought you were going to say Charlie Sheen, and I was like, wait a minute, we got to talk.
No. Charlie Sheen and I go way back. Dr. Charlie Schick, by the way.
Dr. Charlie Schick.
Dr. Schick showed me Twitter back in 2010 or 2011.
Right.
I'm not sure.
And I misspoke earlier. I said 2008. It was 2006 when it sort of came out, and then I think 2007
when it really
7 and 8 is when it like really blew up. So
yeah.
I was using my candy bar phone. My very first phone was one of those candy bar phones, Kyocera, where it was like texting with your thumb like this.
Yeah, I don't
stuff.
remember what I probably.
That's dating me a little bit. But
I was probably on a BlackBerry.
I was social media before it was visual.
You were cool before it was cool, bro.
Yep. All right, man. That's
man. That's show number 85.
Woo! 85.
Thank you. Oh, here, I'll play us out.
Yeah, do that. I was waiting for that. That's awesome. All right, let me get my drumsticks. Let me get my mini Atamanium drumsticks.
Don't eat too many carbs or you'll get a bellyache. I don't know why I just said that. That doesn't make any sense. How about
that? Reminds me. Next week we're gonna check in on our dad bod diet. What do you think? Nice. All right, folks. This has been Weeks In. Thanks for joining us. My name is The RAB. That is Graham Knows. You can find us on Twitter or anywhere on the interwebs. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week on another episode of Weeks In, your favorite source of useless nerdy knowledge.